Even though I'm thousands miles away from China, they still projecting a lot of threat and harassment here in Australia.
Ba Diutao is known for his political cartoons satirizing President Xi Jinping and the Chinese Communist Party. He lives under a pseudonym in Melbourne, but says even in Australia, he's taken a risk for his art.
I've been followed by numerous agents. I've been cyber attacked and my internet got hacked. I have to use VPN to get online. I have to use crypto message to talking with the people who work with me. This harassment just constantly happening, and I can't even say that I feel safe in Australia.
In 2018, after almost 10 years of living in Australia, and just before he was due to open a major exhibition in Hong Kong, Ba Diutao was told Chinese authorities had worked out who he was.
So just 3 days before the Hong Kong exhibition, all my family members got harassed by the Chinese National Security Police. My relatives in Shanghai got taken to the police station. They got interrogated, threatened, and a message was sending to me that I have to cancel my show. Otherwise, there'll be consequence to me, and there'll be consequence to my family in China.
An investigation by the New York Times found authorities in China are using increasingly sophisticated software to track down critics, both inside and outside the country. Critics like Ba Diutao and Zhu, a Chinese international student living under a pseudonym in Sydney. Zhu's Twitter account, Fake News of China, mocks President Xi, and in 2020, it came to the attention of Chinese authorities.
然后这个小号呢，我是更加谨慎。当时我是把所有的信息都是隐藏起来的，然后我也是用那个，就是匿名的，就是海外的邮箱，还有就是用那个海外匿名的手机号。但是最后呢，就是说我的身份还是被就是中国的网警给就是查出来了。然后我觉得就是非常可怕这件事情。
Zhu says police summoned their father to the station where they forced him to call Zhu on his phone.
你那个推特发的这些东西是绝对不可以的。你回国之后马上来找我。
什么事啊？
公安局来。
爸爸，不是你这找我又找你来什么事啊？
没什么事。好，再见吧。
就是特别的恐惧，我当时以为就是我要回国，就是进监狱了，所以当时就是发了一个视频，就是跟大家告别。
Analysts say the harassment of critics and relatives is all part of the party's campaign to drown out criticism.
In the past, they spent most of their energy trying to manage what people inside China's sort of closed-off internet were saying. And in the last few years, they've switched and they're paying a lot more attention to what Chinese people are saying outside of China on social networks that are blocked inside of China. And this really coincides with a concerted effort by the Communist Party to try to take control of China's image abroad.
It's a trend cybersecurity experts say has increased under President Xi.
The Chinese Communist Party has been investing in censorship and suppression for years. Back in 2014, one of Xi Jinping's first actions as president was to establish the Cyberspace Administration of China, which basically functions as a means to oversee the internet and notably to censor online users. And since then, the government has reportedly spent billions of dollars on surveillance technology, which includes contracts with private data brokers and startups to purchase software powered by artificial intelligence.
So how do Chinese authorities track critics overseas, even without their real names?
The government can partner with private data aggregators that scan public websites, basically anything on the internet, even outside of China, and compile or scrape millions of posts, photos, and social media records. For example, the software can search for certain keywords like Hong Kong or Uyghur.
China's Cyberspace Administration has hotlines to encourage citizens to dob on others.
China's just getting much more sophisticated. They're using digital forensic tools to sort of track down and identify the accounts that they are concerned about, that they might be worried about spreading messages that the Communist Party doesn't like. And then they're going out and they're hiring people or they're dispatching their own people to do basically open source intelligence work.
And in China, people are reportedly being prosecuted and jailed for online crimes, such as picking a quarrel, insulting the country or its leaders, or posting inappropriate remarks.
Chinese government has passed laws that give it access to data held by companies that operate within China. So that's another huge resource, legal authority that the CCP has as well.
For both Badiutao and Zhu, refusing to comply has come at a huge personal cost.
They say there'll be no mercy, and everyone help me in Hong Kong will be in trouble as well. I have to make a decision that cutting my connection with my China so that the police cannot reach me by my family, so that my family become useless to the police in China. But this is just the very harsh reality that I have to face.
Zhu says they've had no contact with their father since the call with police.
中国政府在海外的这个渗透就是非常恐怖的，而且他们的网警也可以监视到每一个人，包括在这边的留学生。所以留学生即使去了海外，就是他们的言论都是不自由的。
The Chinese government has increased its control over data held by private companies. And the scary part is that the surveillance is very widespread and it's not very transparent.
As China's influence grows, the highly valued freedoms of dissidents living overseas appears to be shrinking.
A lot of galleries are worrying that if they represent me, showing my work, then they'll be in trouble because they will be no longer having access to the Chinese market on contemporary art buying. And also a lot of venues, even like NGVs, would censor me because they're worried that once they collaborated with me, they will ending their collaboration with the Chinese government on another China-related project. Those venues, organizations supposed to be the defender for the freedom of speech, supposed to helping and protect artists like me.